out, because we're about to head out and get qualifying underway for day 2 here in Miami. We started the season back in early March in Sonoma Raceway. Then it was on to Daytona International Speedway, just a couple of hours up the road here from Miami International Autodrome. We're here 2 weeks after Formula One Indianapolis Motor Speedway is up. After that, Watkins, then International, that's what I meant, Laguna Seca, and then Mugello for the finale Mondiale in October. So 6 weekends over here in the USA, and then heading across to Italy for a finale with all the other Ferrari Challenger Series as well. We're in Miami, did we mention that? Let's take a look at the track layout here. It's not quite the same as Formula One. That's turn 1. You can see sequences of corners through turn 1, 2, 3. Then you've got 4, 5, 6 as well. Linking those up is really important. 10 rotating still with a little bit of pressure on one side of the car as you get on the brakes into the chicane at 11 and 12. And then 15 is absolutely crucial for that run onto the long straight, with 17 being a good opportunity to overtake before 18 and 19 bring you back to the start-finish line underneath the Hard Rock Stadium. My name's Andrew Coley. Alongside me is Tony Villander. Tony, yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yesterday was interesting. It was hard on some of our drivers. Some people made some pretty costly mistakes. Luckily, everybody is okay. We had a couple of big crashes. We'd never like to see that. And of course, obviously, very safe race car, the 296 Challenge, and also it's a Formula One circuit, so great safety here.
Yeah, we are into day 2 of racing. Again, in great weather. Early morning wake up for the teams and the drivers. Similar program to yesterday, so we have the 4 qualifying sessions early in the morning, and then later in the afternoon we have the race for Pirelli and race for Shell categories. Track provides great racing. It's a technical track, so driver can make a difference here, taking a little bit more risks, having optimum racing line, carrying more speed into the corners. Accidents, yes, the walls are very close. We had some contacts even in Pirelli with the leaders. Not super easy to overtake. Very crucial to have a good qualifying, good race start, and also to be ready at the restarts after the safety car. We saw maybe a misunderstanding, maybe some of the drivers not fully aware of the rules in Shell after the safety car. What is the acceleration zone? What does it mean when the green flag flies and you are ahead of the grid? So I think a lot of lessons learned for today. Also on the technical side, I think teams are continuously improving the setup, tire pressures. Coaches are teaching their drivers where to improve, what were the mistakes yesterday, and today is another day of racing.
Yeah, it is indeed. We have seen this year, haven't we, incidents on day 1, and normally day 2 gets a bit cleaner, so let's hope we get some full races in. Down in the pit lane reporting for us, as always, is Nina Jade Paul.
Hello, good morning. We are just moments away from qualifying here at the Miami International Autodrome circuit, and the stakes couldn't be higher. The championship battle is really heating up now, and that is across the board in every category. Like you guys said, we did see a few drivers struggle yesterday, some with the pressure, some had some drama with the walls, and they'll be all wanting to avoid that today and right those wrongs. And with the championship battle intensifying, qualifying is critical. We did see yesterday, whilst overtaking is possible, it's a little bit tricky and demands the utmost precision. We've got Shell and Shell AM qualifying first, then Pirelli and Pirelli AM. I've spoken with Steve Scheck, who had a little shunt in the Shell qualifying yesterday. He's doing okay, having some precautionary tests done, but he hopes to come back stronger for Indianapolis. Now, let's get qualifying going, shall we?
Thank you, Nina Jade. It's not too hot down there just yet. It's 28 Celsius. And that's roughly what it was yesterday. Track temperature's a bit higher than that. We saw about 4 degrees higher with air and track temperature later on when we got into the racing side of things. But this is, as Nina Jade said, just qualifying at the moment. Shell AM up first of all. You're looking at Melissa Kozira. And Melissa's front bumper is not wrapped, looking at the car, because she had a little bit of contact yesterday with Stephanie Herfield down in turn 1. Melissa was bang up for a good race. There was a lot going on out on track. She had a little dive, and there's Stephanie actually as well, with the purple coloured car there, looking resplendent. 128 is Dave Williams. And they're all heading out on there. A fairly slow warm-up lap. No need for any drama just yet.
Yeah, I was talking to some of the engineers this morning. Confirmed between 2 or 3 warm-up laps to get the optimum temperature into the tires. Shell drivers need to be really careful early in the morning. all the reactions, all the senses really need to be on it. You have a fast race car underneath, so you need to be ready for this session. Between laps 3 and 6, 3 and 7, you can post those fastest lap times. Street circuit, even if you have had a lot of running since Wednesday, it always takes few laps, few corners to get back into the rhythm, doing the same things like you did yesterday. So I would say easy approach to the start of qualifying. 12 minutes is a good amount of time to get the most out of it.
Yeah, as long as nobody goes off. And that was the problem yesterday for these guys, of course, was actually they lost the majority of their session. Had to be abandoned after the K-rail got moved by a big impact from Steve Czech, who, as Nina Jade said, is thankfully okay. If you watched the races yesterday, I say all the drivers okay after there was a particularly big crash at the end of the straight, and everybody is all right thanks to some brilliant work from the safety crews here, and I say F1 safety, and of course a very strong race car from Ferrari. So everybody waking up slowly, get those yawns done, get the stretches underway, and they'll just ease themselves into this session. I say that they really do need the 12 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, we saw yesterday that the track surface is, even there is some heat already in the morning, it's not too aggressive on the tires, so you have the chance to improve, and you have several laps to post those fastest lap times. You don't just have one lap where you have the maximum performance from the tires, and then you would have the drop. Here the case is different. Formula One quality tarmac, very smooth, and creates a lot of grip. So for the tire deck, it's good.
Here comes Jeffrey Keel. You were on board a moment ago with Fabian Sperman, who got that 15-second penalty yesterday. We're still waiting to hear if there'll be any penalties for any of the other incidents, which is why results here for us on our various sources of information are actually still showing as provisional. So maybe the stewards are still running through onboard cameras from yesterday because a lot happened. Danny Patel, he of course had the hood off yesterday, and we think it was firing out the coolant from the car, don't we?
Yeah, we didn't see the whole sequence what happened. Most likely there was an accident, there was a contact, and then it damaged the front of the car. And like you said, the hood, we saw the hood flying in the air, and then actually I think that one of the safety cars was caused by that, because they had to recheck the track if there was oil, what kind of liquid was on the track surface, and then took a few laps and we got the race underway again.
We did indeed. Jeffrey Nürnberg had that brilliant performance last time. It was offline, wasn't it, on the straight? You know, the racer in me says, we'll fix it after the session, but you can't do that, not at these speeds.
Yeah, the street circuit, you need to have everything under control, and if there is a car that is losing something on the track, safety is the priority. So I think overall the race director, the stewards, they made good calls with the safety car. When was the moment to neutralize the race? Maybe with the final accident they could have reacted a little bit faster, but they had a lot going on. It was a sequence of many things happening. We just came from another safety car period, so sometimes the saying safety cars bring safety cars happens with these categories. So when everybody is very packed, close together, we get a restart. All the coaches, driver coaches are pushing their drivers to go for it. You have a driver in front of you, go and overtake him, and then sometimes we do have contacts again.
Yeah, and it's the switching on, switching off thing as well, isn't it? You're cruising around in safety car mode, and then suddenly you go racing again. You get that 2 or 3 times. It's up pace, down pace, tyre temperatures up, tyre temperatures down. Maybe easier for the guys at the front at Trofeo Pirelli with a bit more experience, but obviously some yesterday as well. These guys, of course, having not had a qualifying session, they all started the race on tyres which were probably 7 or 8 laps younger than usual. So then you have the tyre deck at a different point in the race.
And we also had a little bit of mixed grid based on the lap times and the performance on this track. It is true that we started on the championship order, but some of the drivers is not doing the full championship. They just choose some of the races they prefer based on their schedule outside racing. And yeah, that mixed grid created a little bit of difference in speed, and also some extra overtaking when then we saw some contact. So yeah, a lot of drivers were a bit disappointed not being able to qualify yesterday, and today we see everything's going well so far. So
run down the straight here. Something off the bottom of that car. There is one bollard that was added after the drivers were here from Wednesday to Friday, having 10 practice sessions, basically, or training sessions if they wanted them, and then the official practice sessions were Friday, 3 of them, and they added a bollard inside one of the curbs. The race director said that's enough now because they were all using a bit more track. You mentioned, Tony, that the F1 cars obviously are more unsettled by curbs maybe than a Ferrari Challenge car, so we're using different bits of the road.
yeah, just the philosophy of the race cars is completely different. So F1 cars running very low, so just the character of the car creates the fact that F1 cars cannot ride the curbs the way these GT and Challenge cars can. And yeah, that being said, a smooth curb for GT car almost always means that take as much as you can, cut the lines as much as you can. It's all performance, so then it's always a compromise between the race director, the rules, and what the drivers are doing on track. Track limits have been an issue the last few years all around the motorsport. Le Mans, 24 hours, everywhere you go to a qualifying and you see 400 calls for track limits. So
yeah,
it's a continuous fight between the stewards, race director, and the drivers,
and then the teams too, because you can put things in place on the track which means people won't cut the track limits, but then if you spin across them you get a lot of damage on the cars. Sausage curbs which can cause accidents, they've come and gone, so yeah, it's tricky. Top of the table has been lighting up green if you were looking at your screen. So Gabe Hribb went quickest with Lance Corley in second, then Mr. Kozira moved into second. Michael Owens has now moved into second, just 600ths off the pace of Hribb. There is 3 minutes 40 remaining. So the drivers now all starting to pick up their pace and get their hot laps in, which is good to see. Over the line, they saw Fabian Sperman moves up to P8 for the collection. Nicely done. Louis Flory back up to P4. Flory was quickest for a short time. Danny Patel moves up to P10. 3 minutes 15 left, so another couple of laps in this session, and when the checker flag falls, you finish the lap you're on. Sensible stuff so far.
Yeah, looking good. Also the gaps between the drivers seem to be closer today. Michael Owens has been lately very, very fast. He had the pole position in Daytona, didn't have a good result in the race, won the race yesterday, had a good fight with Jeffrey Nürnberg. So good stuff from Owens, who is right now in P3. But really small gaps.
Danny Patel's just gone up to P3. It's only his second race weekend. He's the guy that made the debut at Daytona, so we saw him yesterday with the hood off. So he just pips Michael Owens. That's a good lap by him, definitely. Melissa Kozira to the top. So Melissa Kozira goes to the top of the table. So they've really, everybody is sticking in quick laps now. They've really found their rhythm. Fantastic to see this in the Shell AM category. Melissa was hoping that she was quickest in one of the... Michael Owens pips her now. She was quickest in the free practice session on Friday, and when qualifying got abandoned yesterday, she was like, I wish they'd gone off free practice, I'd have been pole. But she could be about to earn pole herself here. It's fantastic performance by her and by Michael Owens, as you can see. Owens heading round now. Is he on another flyer? He's using enough track that suggests he is still on a push lap, and they're running right out over the paint towards the concrete walls.
Yeah, this is very technical section of the racetrack. We saw yesterday, even with the Pirelli drivers, there was a big difference in racing lines, but also the speed they were carrying throughout the corners. So everything that happens between 10 and 15 is very technical part. And I think you make the most out of the lap time in those corners.
There is Kozira in the 108. Is she going to get the pole? She's been knocked down to third because Gabe Hribb has just gone quickest. Here comes Melissa Kozira. Round to go over the start-finish line. She doesn't go quicker this time. Lance Corley just gets in front.
Yeah, there's one car off at turn 1 on the left-hand side.
A spin or not something big?
I think I saw a yellow flag going into turn 1.
That is 129. Henry Hummel. Keeps the car going, that's good. Doesn't look like there was any contact with the wall. So I think he'll cruise round Owens. Can he take the pole from Hrib? Owens crosses the finish line and does. So Owens goes 0.5 of a second faster than Gabe Hrib. That is a great lap by Michael Owens. That's opened it up.
Yeah, very good performance and also very nice qualifying from him so far. Every lap improving his pace. So it means that probably with the tire pressures they started a bit lower and the grip is coming towards him all the time and he's able to improve.
This is Gabe Hrib you're looking at now. He's coming down the straight. So Gabe Hrib looking to see if he can take the pole back from Michael Owens. The top of this table has been lit up through the entire session. Gabe, of course, has a couple of seconds.
Now and we have the checkered flag, so...
Yeah, this will be his last lap. Is he going to be halted on this lap or no? Is he going to be held up? I think he's got away with it. So Hrib may be able to take it here as he comes round over the start-finish line. No, not enough.
Yeah, I think it was held back a little bit with the traffic cars coming back to the pits. So he lost a little bit of time.
That's a shame. Up in the hairpin, up at 17. Still, he'll be happy with P2. That's front row for Shell AM. Melissa Kozira over the line. She was P4. She stays P4. But good performance from Melissa, definitely. She's on the second row with Lance Corley at the minute. So checkers have fallen for Stephanie Herfield, Matthew Herfield, Melissa Kozira, Gabe Hrib. Some people have come back in already. I suspect Owens will be in. The 117, that's Jeffrey Keel. Danny Patel, P5. Let me see where Danny was at the previous events. So I know he did a reasonable qualifying at the second day in Daytona. Yeah, he got fourth at the second day in Daytona. So that's a good performance from Danny. And we can't really take yesterday's qualifying into account, as Tony has already said. It was done on championship position. So yesterday's quali is not a non-event. That's not fair. But so you wouldn't say the pole sitter yesterday took the pole. They were given the pole by the championship position. So that's a little bit different. Fabian Sperman ends up in P10. Good to see the Shell AM qualifying session get away so cleanly. Really great from the drivers. I think that suggests as well, as you were saying, that lessons are learned from yesterday. You can't do it on lap one.
Yeah, you need to take time, and like you start the new day on a street circuit where the speeds you're reaching 200 miles per hour. The walls are very close all the time, so you just need to build up the confidence. You cannot rush things, and at the right moment, yes, you can take the most out of the race car, but it takes a little bit of patience. And they had a good approach to this qualifying, so a great session.
Yeah, really well done. The track does look good. I'm a big fan of the painted areas for like runoff. Used to be grass, didn't it?
Yeah, it's very impressive, the whole area.
It really is.
Yeah, it's great to have this kind of track close to Miami, and yeah, it's a great event. Our drivers in Club GT, Club Challenge, the 499P prototypes, everybody's been super happy. You get the chance to drive in such a special track, so great to see.
Very cool, very cool. Well, cruising back, the Shell AM drivers finishing off their run down to, is that the King onto the back straight? No, not quite yet. That's over before it. So many linked sequences of corners here, which are crucial to get right if you want to get that good lap time in. There's the run onto the straight. 160 miles an hour, I think it is, on the straight, from what I remember from looking at some of the onboards. Under the Faye Bridge, which is where everybody's been standing to watch some very special machinery that's running this weekend. This is a Ferrari Races weekend, meaning that we have F1 Cliente, Ferrari Racing Days, F1 Cliente, Sport Prototipi Cliente as well. So Formula 1 cars and the 499P Modificata out on track. And it's been wonderful. The noise has just been epic. The XX program is here as well, but I think the Formula 1 is the one. That bridge there, the Faye Bridge, basically, because it's only branded on one side, everybody's up there, phones in hand, fingers in ears, as the F1 cars come underneath. It's been fantastic. So many guests here yesterday. Wonderful opening ceremony as well. It's been quite the show. Those yellow rims out in pit lane, that's got to be Kaminsky. So that's a little bit of a trick that a lot of teams use as well, is you put the tyres out in the sunshine and you heat the tyres. So it's interesting to see not more teams doing that, I think. I see that a lot in rallycross. You'll see them all laid out behind the paddock and then onto the cars, just trying to bake a bit more heat into them just before the session. Okay, they could be Kaminsky's too on the left. So who else is running Dayglow rims? Coppa Shell is due out next. They've got a green flag on their session.
Yeah, once again, I have to say I love this format of each category have a chance to have the track for themselves. So we have 4 classes, and the decision to do 4 sessions is great because this maximizes the opportunity to have a clean lap. And for me, qualifying always means that you don't block other drivers. You get the chance to do your best. Then if you are happy or not with your own performance, that's another story, but at least you had the chance. I hate the fact that even in the highest level of racing we have the blocking, cars slowing down. For me, always qualifying presents the pure speed. Yes. And then the racing is the other stuff, but qualifying you would always need to have the chance to do those clean laps, and I think this format is very good for the drivers, for the development of the drivers, and also as a format to have more happy drivers after the qualifying.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good that they race together. I like that, Coppa Shell and Coppa Shell AM race together. Sometimes I think it's frustrating for the front guys from the AM category of either Pirelli or Shell are quicker than the back guys in the pro category, if you want to call it that, and I guess it's frustrating sometimes on the grid for them. I'd kind of like to see them gridded up based on speed the whole way through, but I understand why they separate them into their 2 categories. Then they know they're racing against their counterparts, don't they? Oh dear, so that's Viskup, yesterday's winner. Now has he had a little off? Or has he got
like
tech?
Almost a technical issue, because he still has the tires on top of the tires, those Pirelli signs or the papers on top.
Stickers on top. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Like
So
more of a technical issue.
Okay, so it's going to depend where he's parked. Okay, Mitchell Green, championship front runner, been outstanding all year. Yesterday, at the restart zone, it just didn't go according to plan.
Yeah, a little bit of action in the last restart. So he was the leading car. There is an acceleration zone that we informed us after the race. So acceleration zone between 18 and 19. When the green flag waves, he should go. There was a delay. There is a visual issue that the drivers cannot really spot the green flag. And also there was a little bit of delay in the radio communication with him and the team. So actually 4 or 5 cars overtook him before the line, just when the green flag was thrown, and a little bit of action. And actually Mitchell Green was now on a flying lap, and we get a red flag because of the car that had stopped on track. So a lot of action after the race. I was with Roberto Amorosi, who runs the team of Mitchell Green. So straight away, coming out from the race car, phone calls, we need to go to the race director. The others accelerated and stuff. So I think it's more smooth now. I think if he had the chance to redo the restart from yesterday, he would just go.
Yeah, go earlier.
Yeah,
just
go
earlier in the zone. It's here, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's between the apex on your right and the apex at the bottom of your camera shot now.
Exactly. When in doubt, just go. And then you have a single line, so there's not a similar pressure like you have in the actual restart when you have the 2 lines side by side. So he should have just gone, and that would have taken out all the extra things that happen later on. But it's a learning process as well. He had great pace. He was leading already by several seconds.
Yeah, he checked out.
He really had different pace. And championship, you learn a lot of things, you improve. Mistakes can be done. Good drivers learn from the mistakes and they don't repeat the same thing. So happens even in the top level that you do mistakes. But important thing is to learn the lesson. 0, then the next day is another opportunity, and not to have in your mind the same things from yesterday and just to do the same stuff you were doing prior to that final restart.
Yeah, it's another lesson, isn't it? It's just another step. Interestingly as well, it seems that potentially it was a chain reaction, wasn't it? Somebody went, everybody else responded. What's really interesting is the green flag came out and they know the exact second that happened. So 2 of the cars that overtook him might be getting penalties, whereas 2 of them won't because they reacted. By the time they'd reacted, the green flag was out anyway. So so we might see penalties. Say we'll hopefully have some final results for you and championship standings later on today before we go racing. Big gap again before we go racing, and plenty for everybody to do around Casa Ferrari and the various different wonderful hospitality we've got here. We've got a Ferrari corral down in the centre of the Hard Rock Stadium. There it is. Casa Ferrari's in that building on the left, which is the F1 hospitality building. That's where Paddock Club is normally based, and Paddock Club takes over a couple of floors. Casa Ferrari has taken over the entire of one of the floors. It really is impressive. These guys do events at a absolutely stunning level. It's beautiful. It really is. Miami skyline in the background. The prancing horse everywhere here. You need a lot of Ferraris to fill an NFL stadium. We had a lot of Ferraris yesterday. There have been some driving activities for the guests as well. They've been able to come and take a different route. There was a route which brought them in via different activities around Miami. The atelier is here as well, so you can go down and personalise your orders and so on. It's very nice. It's done properly. Green flag. So yeah, it was just the one car. It's Kiel, wasn't it? I think. Viscup, sorry, it was Viscup on the strap who got pulled in. Race controller telling me it was Viscup. Yes, it was.
So for the drivers, this is a thing that now the pressure comes up. You need to deliver a bit faster. We lost the half of the session. Nobody has posted a lap time yet. So traffic, clean lap, and rushing things might be a bad combination. So still drivers that were building up tire pressures and getting ready for the flying laps. And Mitchell Green really looks to be on it with his yellow car. So
Jan Bernier right behind him. So this is your
championship. That's a good place to be.
Yeah, this is your championship 1 and 2. These guys are P1, certainly were P1 and 2 coming into this weekend. So we don't have the updated points just yet. In terms of results, 2 wins and 2 seconds for Mitchell Green in the yellow car, and he had a crash during testing this week, which is why he's in a spare car. Jan Bernier, 2 P2s, 1 P3, and then at the last event in Daytona, pole and P1 for Bernier. Let me look at yesterday's quali. Mitchell Green yesterday had pole, and Jan Bernier was, where is his number 132? Let me get down my list for yesterday's result. Yeah, it was Q2. So they really are the class of the field. And Bernier in a good place to follow his rival around. He won't need to follow Mitchell Green to do a good lap, but it's nice to see these two on track together. 4 minutes 30 to play out. Stephen Chen in behind them as well. Stephen Chen is one of our new drivers, qualified 14th yesterday. But it really is the battle between our top 2 in the series. Mitchell Green going around now to start his first flying lap, and behind him Jan Bernier.
I think it was a clever move from Bernier. At the last corner, he even left some more gap to Mitchell Green, so you don't want to be too close of the other car, so you might lose some downforce in the front of the car. It might compromise your braking capacity, but also the fact if the driver in front of you does a mistake and he backs off from his lap, then most likely you will have to lift as well if you are too close. So I think it was a good call for Bernier to prepare in the right spot for his flying lap.
Yeah, I think if you're more of a novice driver and you can learn something from following the faster guy, that's not a bad thing to do. But Bernier doesn't need that. As you say, he just needs to stay out of trouble, especially with only 3 minutes 30 remaining in the session. It's only 5 minutes 50 is what they had when the green flag came back out. It's actually only really just long enough to get the tyres up to temperature.
Yeah, I mean, they were still in the process of getting ready for their best performance. Mitchell was on his flying lap. First one, he's really aggressive over the curbs. He's really good in this section. Like I said, using the curbs, going early on throttle, carrying a lot of speed out of T15 on the back straight, and then to this braking zone to T17. He has quite good rotation. I think he's still lacking a little bit of grip at slow speed. It took some time to get the rotation done. Looking for the distance. Not a huge difference on lap time.
No,
Let's see now.
Thinking that 1:37.8 for Jan Bernier, 1:30. Sorry for Green and 1:30. Yeah,
Very close.
Wow, yeah, 0.081 Bernier pips Green. So Mitchell Green had the pole for literally a second before Jan Bernier crossed the line behind him. Stephen Chen with a 1:38.8. That's good. Of course, he didn't do any times yesterday. Yesterday he was. But of course, yesterday he qualified 14th because it was on championship standards, and Chen is a new driver, so we didn't have an idea of how quick Chen was yesterday. Gary Ott,
yeah,
fourth.
very impressive lap time, because yesterday the pole in Pirelli AM was 37.3. So
yeah,
so very impressive lap time. Mitchell went off, I think.
Yeah, he did.
We talk about the pressure. 5 minutes 50 on the clock. You need to deliver quickly, and this is what the pressure. And the wing is bended.
It is, yeah. So he must have tapped something. Yeah, good spot.
Pressure.
That is a good spot.
Under pressure. Ding 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 ding.
I didn't think we'd get that this early in the morning. Brilliant.
Yeah, so he spun and touched the wall, I think.
He must have done, yeah, to have. So the question now is, do you continue? We're trying to get one more fast lap with a damaged rear wing. I think that's a dodgy.
He had already one crash earlier in the week, so I would call it a day for the qualifying and be ready for the race. But let's see what he decides to do.
He's only got time for one more flyer, hasn't he? He's got to get to the ground to the checkered flag. What we'll see. We'll try and see if he goes in or not. So over the line goes Jan Bernier. Not quicker than he went before, so his quickest time still stands. Stephen Chen, I think he's similar. This is, what are we looking at? Okay.
Yeah,
I think he's gone in.
Yeah.
That was Mitchell Green, I think, going in left-hand side of your screen. Gary Ott over the line. Brian Waltersdorf gone up to P3 on that last lap. Gary Ott stays where he is. Mitchell Green is in the pits, confirmed on that timing screen. So Green won't get the pole here. He's been on the pole twice, say Daytona, he's P2. Who else has had pole in this category? Let's take a look. Oh, of course, Ernst Kirchmeier took it in Daytona, but was then immediately moved up to Pirelli. So, and then Jan Bernier got one in Daytona. Yesterday it went to Mitchell Green because of championship standings. Today it goes to Jan Bernier because of lap times, unless anybody beats him. Checker flag coming out in 2 seconds' time. There it is. So the session will end on this lap. It just depends who's on a flyer and can get away with one more. Brad Evans. We've got a fantastic audio engineer here called Ryan, and because of Brad Evans, I keep calling Ryan Brad. There you go, mate. Sorry, that's my excuse. Genuinely, yesterday got myself all in a muddle. There are a lot of names. When you've got 70 odd entries, there are a lot of names to learn. But Ryan, you're a legend. Thanks to everybody in the TV truck for the hard work as well this weekend. Here comes Stephen Chen again. It's our new driver with the 1, 2, 3 on the car. P3. So P3 for Stephen Chen. Great result. That will give him a much better crack at a decent race today as well, Tony, because he's in a position which is relative to his speed. Here comes Chuck Whittle. What can Whittle do? Stay 6th. Yeah, it'd be nice for Chen, wouldn't it, to start from up there?
Yeah, good position, P3. Is a good place to start. We saw some tight moments going into turn 1, so if you are in the first 2 rows, I think that's a good place. You're a little bit in a safer zone than in the midfield.
Yeah. Osvaldo Gaio's gone P5. Brad Evans up into P3. So that was a great time. Here comes Naranjo, Naranjo stays 9th. So yeah, Brad Evans just pips Stephen Chen, but he's still on row 2 at the moment. And looking at it, we've only got John Lennon out waiting for the checker, and he crosses the line now. So that's all our drivers either with the checker or in the pits. So Jan Bernier takes the pole from Mitchell Green, Brad Evans, Stephen Chen, Gary Ott, Osvaldo Gaio. Good session again. Shame for them because it was nobody's fault, was it? At the Viss Cup, unfortunately, at the start of the session went tech and everybody lost 5 minutes. But if the car's in a dangerous place, it's got to be recovered.
Yeah, I think the call was good to recover the car. And we still had a good session. Interesting was to see that Mitchell Green had the spin on his probably the best lap, and yeah, Bernier was able to take the pole.
There's the little blip of throttles on the way down to the end of the straight. And Nina Jade is with our Shell AM pole sitter, Michael Owens.
Michael, you are having a great weekend. First ever win yesterday, pole position today. Talk us through your emotions.
Just loving the Miami track here. It's super challenging and fun, and I have to say, like, get mooring into the track, get some more coaching time, get faster, and really feel the great flow in this track. I'm absolutely loving it, and of course P1 makes everything sweeter and happier.
Exactly, bragging rights. I was going to say, you seem really strong at this track. What is it you specifically like about it?
I really like the flow. The first and second sectors, the flow. I'm thinking it was the Death Star run down the back straight where you've got the walls on each side and you can't see the next corner, so you just got to send it and trust it. It's a super fun track, and the pavement is so good you can really push the cars here, really push the cars even on and off the curbs. So it's a lot of fun, and it's still technical that enough to be super challenging to drive.
Well, good luck for the race.
Thank you very much.
Very happy, Michael Owens. Rightly so. Thumbs up. Yes. Well done. Good job. Good job. I wonder if some of the teams have got the garage doors down to keep the heat out with the sun coming from the front. Of course, there's a lot of the Clienti program is down pit lane. Some of the teams are based out in the paddock as well. So the XX program, the 499P Modificata, F1 Clienti, they may well have the garage doors shut. Their sessions will begin later. We've got XX after this. If you'd like to stick around, you'll be able to see those cars on the stream. When this session is done, the Pirelli sessions are up next. There is a bit of a needle match going on in Pirelli as well. It's going to be very interesting to see. Pirelli AM first of all, then we're going to finish with the Pirelli drivers. Trofeo Pirelli, the last qualifying session, and yesterday the championship was... a fire was lit underneath it, I think it's fair to say. We'll run you through that when we get to their session.
Yeah, I think in the Pirelli race we had something that we will carry on for the rest of the season.
So do I.
Regarding the aggression level, when, where and how to overtake other cars, and where make the difference between the race win and something else. So just a fraction of a second after the contact we heard Dylan Medler screaming inside the car. So I think that was the moment that everything changed a bit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it was up at turn one. It was a very late pass, but there's no penalties so far, and you know, we thought he was 100% alongside. Totally understand why Medler turned in to try to protect it. It was but yeah, it was our two top championship front runners. Kaminsky benefited from that. Medler retired. Perina managed to get around for P5. So yeah, championship standings at the top will be closer than they were, and I think it will be Massimo Perina leading from Medler, and Kaminsky will be closer, I think, is what the points will be. But we need a little tot up on that, and we need also confirmation that the stewards are done with any inquiries. We think they are. Yesterday, Perina was up in the tower, came down, seemed happy enough. Medler not so happy, totally understandable. You know, these guys are racing for a championship. Medler is the champion. Perina and Kaminsky want to take it. And of course, actually yesterday, none of them were able to take the win, because it was Manny Franco who won round one, who came back yesterday and did a great drive. Opportunistic pass right at the start of the race on Johnny Kaminsky, and held on to that position when it all kicked off in front of him. So it was a great drive by Franco. He's not doing all the rounds, so he's missed two anyway. He missed out on Daytona for whatever reason.
I think there was a IMSA race clash.
Yes.
I think,
there we are.
Going by memory, I think there was a Long Beach race same weekend.
So that would be where he was. Nina Jade has our pole sitter from Coppa Shell.
Jan Bernier, third place yesterday, a pole today. You got to be happy with that.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. That was a pretty well connected lap. I had a little rabbit to chase for green, so I kind of chased him through and kept on going and put together a good lap. Like a little shout out to my friends and to the house who's watching from the side. Happy.
Jan Bernier very happy with his pole, and rightly so. We've got some of his friends here watching. We've got lots of people with guests here. So it is the busiest weekend for Casa Ferrari so far. You can see out on track already Dave Musial in the number 30 with the striking Joker livery.
Yeah, and we also have here Ray Acosta, who yesterday had a good run until technical issue. He was happier with the car than in Daytona, was leading the race, and then we saw him having a technical issue. So let's see what Ray can do in today's qualifying.
Yeah. Brad Falver as well was the pole sitter, wasn't he? He had an issue too.
At the start.
Yeah. So lots to play out here. Well, what do you think the mindset will be? Having done a race here now, they'll have a better idea of how crucial they feel qualifying is. You know, we all knew passing would be tricky, but it certainly wasn't impossible. Passes were made yesterday, but now you've done a race. What do you think? Quali is more important?
Yeah, but I still think the concentration for the quali itself is similar. It doesn't really matter which type of racetrack you're having or race later in the afternoon. The mindset is the same. You just want to focus each corner, go a bit faster, have yourself a good gap, place your car in the right place, and then do the things you normally do in qualifying, not to run into traffic on your best laps and so on. I think these drivers, together with their driver coaches, they study a plan for the qualifying and try to execute that. I think also the fact that try to post a lap time early. You never know if you get a yellow or red flag during a session, so early lap time in and then try to improve after that. So 90% lap, and then after that you go for 100%.
Yeah, get a banker in early in case something happens. We're going to pop back down to Nina Jade, who's still with Jan Bernier.
Jan, I've still got Jan with me, Jan Bernier, our pole sitter. You're doing your friend Troy Niehaus and his son Jack really, really proud. You're having a great season. You've got great momentum. How are you feeling about the rest of the season now?
I mean, I think I'm looking forward to it. I know the tracks well. I feel like I've got pretty good pace in the car this year, very consistent. You know, it's about getting to the end of the races. I feel pretty good. You know, luck has to happen too, but I think we're in good shape.
Well, you're starting best seat in the house. Go well later.
Thank you very much.
Good stuff from Bernier. You're looking at Jay Logan. That's the very, very tricky chicane at is it, or is that 14 and 13? That might be 13 and 14. It's the previous corner. It's turned 10 into 11 and 12 yesterday. Big difference in pace between some drivers.
Yeah, you could see some drivers being more aggressive over the curbs, carrying a lot of speed into 10 and 11, and sort of not forgetting 12 and the exit, but carrying way more speed. And then other drivers more cautious 10, 11, and try to get a good run out of 12. And we saw big differences in speed in between 10 and 12. So track being so technical, and yes, you have a lot of practice time, but you don't run in traffic that much. And then in the race you discover these things, and I think drivers will and are improving their driving still, and the lessons learned from the race, they will carry on for today.
I just noticed Sebastian Mascaro in the black and gold car just in front of off the Levy. Mascaro has got two different coloured wing mirrors, which means he has explored the limits of track limits comprehensively, doesn't he? The mirrors, as you can see, are the one of two things. He's either glanced the wall or he's come into contact with another competitor at some point during the weekend. But Mascaro's all smiles. He's absolutely loving Ferrari Challenge. Here comes Dave Musial. The minute Logan's quickest 41.9, but we're getting into the session now. Musial goes quick. He's 140.8, 1.1 quicker. Temps are coming up. 7:25 remains on the clock. Cesniak, P3 at the minute. Ferrari of Austin. Just bringing the car in slightly away from the curb before turning in. bumpy braking zone down there too. You can see from where the black lines appear and disappear, just the points which are locking up. That's borderline track limits too, but they are allowing them the inside white line of the curbs.
Yeah, using a lot of track just on the last turn before launching himself onto the next flying lap. It's true, he also left some space going into 17. But the best performance is yet to come. Here we see Ray Acosta, 38.7 P5 right now.
Yeah, Brad Falvera has gone quickest with a 37.5. Can you remember what the Pirelli AM quali time was yesterday? Do you have that one?
Pirelli AM we mentioned earlier was 37.3.
Okay, so we're 2/10. Brad Falvera's only 2/10 away from that at the minute.
Yes.
So going very well. Looking down, he was pole yesterday, so he could maybe. Yeah, and it was Mascaro who was behind him. So it is the same top two as yesterday, but at the minute Mascaro is 7/10 off Brad Falvera's time. There is Mascaro through the chicane that we've been talking about. All the way out to the outside of the track. Him and Ophir Levy behind as well. This is definitely a push lap from Mascaro. Can he nick the pole from Falvera? Through the right-hander and onto the straight, carry the speed all the way down. Now let's see him on the brakes at the end of the straight, and you'll see that bumpy braking zone too. Look to your left, and you can see where the black marks go lighter and darker as the bumps are across the track. Attitude in the car is good. Once on the nose, you can see the weight transfer to the front. Ophir Levy uses a little bit more track on the way into the last corner. Brad Falvera is still the man at the moment. Jay Logan P2 over the line comes Mascaro. Mascaro, does he go quickest? No, he goes P2, he's 1/10 of a second back. Ophir Levy is in P4, so Mascaro just 0.177 off the pole.
Yeah, and the current pole sitter, I think he came back to the pits.
Yeah, he did. There's P next to him.
He parked very early.
Okay, so Brad Falvera then is banking that he's done enough at 1:37.5. Now, yesterday there was less than a 1/10 between him and Mascaro. So Mascaro here, who you're watching, has the pace to potentially take the pole from Falvera, who's decided to quit with 4 minutes to go. So Brad Falvera's parked it, and Mascaro is still out on push.
Yeah, there's 2/10 now.
Yes. So let's see.
Yeah, the reason to go early in the pits is, yes, you are happy with your lap time, but if you do another couple of laps, it's something that you take away from the race. You need to use the same set of tires for the 30-minute race this afternoon. So that's why drivers who have the skill level to do it, they try to post their best lap time as early as they can.
Let's see. Mascaro, I reckon one more push lap. He'll be coming round towards the start-finish line soon. That's Logan over the line. Logan goes P2. Here's Mascaro. So Logan's gone P2, 0.168 back. 0.177 was the gap to Mascaro. Yesterday, though, he went quicker because Falvera did a 0.3 and he was within a 1/10 of him. Can he take the pole off? Falvera crosses the line. Mascaro, he does. Mascaro goes to the top. 1:37.309. That matches the pole time from yesterday. We'll have to check the hundredths in a second to see if it's quicker or not. Mascaro stays out for one more lap than Falvera and he takes it.
Yeah, this is the risk when you take when you stop your qualifying early. And yeah, Mascaro, great performance, matching the pole in the category from yesterday.
I'd be on the radio to him now saying, wind it in, you've done it. Now you want to save the tyres, don't you? Surely you quit now. You've done one more lap. Why do another? Into the wall. That'll be a full course yellow, if not a red. Gets away without too much damage. Was it Duran? We're on board. Who is it? Deal.
Yeah, look at the steering.
Yeah. So yeah, the car, that might be a puncture on the rear from where he's hit the wall. Oh yeah, like, look at that, the car's crabbing badly. So probably either a broken rear toe link, which is causing the car to crab like that, but that'll be a yellow definitely down the straight. He's got the car out of the way. In theory, he can drag this back, and he will do if he can, because it means the team don't have to get the car recovered. Yeah,
sometimes you may damage the car more if you keep going, but yeah, it's that turn 15 we mentioned many occasions this weekend. you take the inside curve and you ride the exit curve as well, because you want the max speed for the next straight line, which is almost as long as the straight line between 8 and 10. So he touched the wall, but I think he got away with relatively low damage, because it could have been worse.
Yeah, I thought he was going to go in harder, to be fair. I thought he was going to go in harder. That's the risk you take by running the curbs, isn't it?
Yeah, Ray Acosta had a slow start for his qualifying, improving now. He's up to P3, 3/10 from the, little bit less than 3/10 from the pole.
Yeah, he's not far off the car in front, though, is he? He's not far off Fowler's time. Yeah, 0.044, and as I say that, Fowler's gone quickest, so Fowler has taken the pole from Mascaro. So Brad Fowler, very, very late in the session, 37.2. So that's a 10th up on yesterday's pole time.
So
Great job.
He went to the pits, came back.
He did, yeah. We thought he'd quit, didn't we? He'd gone in, had a cool down. Do you think he maybe saw the lap from Mascaro and came back out?
Yeah, probably by the rule is allowed to lower the tire pressures, did something like that, and then came back.
So there we go, Brad Fowler. Great tactics from him and their team. You can see him right now. One black door on the car. That's a replacement from yesterday. Seeing the battle damage is cool, I think. There are a number of splitters out there which are different colours. Again, 2 wing mirrors, different colours. These drivers are getting into it, getting into each other. Mascaro's still out, but I don't think he's pushing. I'll say he's not pushing. He still is going quickly. So has Mascaro carried on with a big push? He looked like he lifted mid-corner there to me. Let's see if he goes pits. He doesn't. So Mascaro coming round, but
Ray Acosta.
Acosta's gone to the top. So Mascaro has rolled out of it. So Acosta has gone to the top. 37.1. Brilliant drive.
Yeah, great. He started with 39s and then improved every lap, and a great performance and great qualifying, very close. Again, the gaps between the top 3, top 4 drivers, so great qualifying session with Pirelli AM.
Yeah, really good. Very late in the session. I've just seen we've got one car parked on one of the runoff areas. Ophir Levy is showing as stopped. Venceslas is showing as stopped.
Yeah, interesting is in Daytona, already after practice, Ray Acosta was saying that this weekend we're struggling a bit, not much we can do. We tried a lot of things, and when I saw him here, he said we improved a few things on car. They've been working on his driving with his coach Marco Bonanomi. I feel more confident here. I have better performance. Yesterday he started, I think, was P3. He was leading the race until he had a technical issue, and now a pole.
Brilliant. By 0.05 of a second, so 0.05 of a second. That's mad, isn't it? It's so close.
That's cool to see.
Really cool. That's one steering input in one corner. It's a couple of inches over a curb. It's nothing, but it's enough for Ray Acosta to take the pole. Brilliant performance. You're looking at Cesniak coming back in. There is Acosta, your pole man from the collection. Just looking at the lap times, there's a 1/10.5 over the top 3, Acosta, Fowler and Mascaro. Then 4/10 back to Logan, but there's only a second here over the top 7 drivers. Acosta, Fowler, Mascaro, Logan, Levy, Deal and Bergeron. Deal was the driver who span and tapped the wall. Got the car back though, because he's showing as pitted, not stopped now. Now we are seeing drivers shown as stopped, but some of those have come into the pits as well. So one car, I think, to collect.
Ray Acosta is one of the drivers as well who has also a 296 GT3 car, and he's running here with Club GT sessions as well. So maybe a little secret of his speed is doing something else as well. And GT3 car, obviously, cornering speeds are higher. You feel more the aerodynamics of the car, and yeah. Ray is happy to race in 296 Challenge, but he told me earlier this season that he's going to do some races also with GT3 car.
Fantastic. I love hearing the birds singing in the background. It's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, calm before the storm.
Yeah, it is though. It's nice. It's really nice. You can also hear scaffolding. But
Yes.
that's the guys taking down the various grandstands and things from Formula One. Skull and crossbones on the roof for Cesniak. I'm a fan. Why not? Go mad with the liveries. Look at that, Dave Musial with the Joker on the car. I think that's Musial Jr. as well in the background. Well, just in front of Musial. So Dave Musial 2.0 as he's known. He'll be getting ready to head out now for the final qualifying session. He does roll out. You can tell the cars apart when they're racing by the colour of their sun strip, but also the colour of the number on the rear of the car. So they have a little number plate down by the exhaust. That's for the drivers that are following. Obviously, a lot of the cars look very similar from behind. There's a lot of black on the back of the 296 Challenge car, and so it's hard to recognise who the car in front of you is, particularly if there's been a bit of a melee at the start. So you have the numbers on the back, and that will indicate to you whether you're following somebody from your class or the other class. The two classes race together when they're out on track. Pirelli and Pirelli AM, Shell and Shell AM. So these last drivers to go out have the red Faye sun strip on the windshield, which indicates they are in the Pirelli class. Trofeo Pirelli, the peak of Ferrari Challenge. Slightly cloudier today here. It is early. The cloud has cleared every day so far to give us red hot temperatures. So let's see. Yeah, there goes the recovery truck. I said there was one car parked on one of the aprons, one of the blue aprons. It was out of danger, but they'll need to get it out of the way. Results then for Pirelli AM: Ray Acosta, Brad Falvera, Sebastian Mascaro. Your top three separated by 0.141 of a second. Jay Logan off 11, Matthew DL, Benoit Bergeron. Look at that, down to just 9 thousandths over a second over the top 7. Dave Musial P8. Acosta went quicker, as did Farah. In fact, the top 3 all went quicker than yesterday's poll. Cesniak, Magnazuski, Venceslavas, McWilliams and Duran. Good session. 3 good sessions. 1 to go. Come on. Trofeo Pirelli, keep it clean. I want to see a great fight here between those top drivers. This will be interesting because temperatures are low, but they're going to want to be on the front row. Yesterday we saw the top 2 checking out until they came together at turn 1. It will be tough to make the passes again.
Yeah, yesterday Dylan Medler posted 1:35.7, and so far we've seen lap time improvements in each of the categories. So maybe 35.7 is not enough for Paul in Pirelli AM today.
The question mark, I guess, is how long do you stay out for? You know, how much is a row or a position worth compared to an extra lap or 2 on your tyres? And only the drivers really can make that decision, can't they? You know, how badly do it? Front row, fine. You know, so I guess you want to fight really hard to be in P2 instead of P3.
Yeah, I would say pole position, whatever it takes, even.
So you
9
stay out.
laps,
Yes,
8 laps,
there we go. That's it. That's the racer.
With these drivers, I think it's all about the track position.
Much harder to pass.
Yeah, much harder to pass. We saw attempt for the race lead yesterday and didn't end up so well.
No. Even pole wasn't enough.
Yeah, I think Massimo Perina, he has the fastest lap time from the practice sessions. At least what we checked the different days and times of the day. Where he still needs to improve is qualifying. He needs to get that pole position. He had the fastest lap time of the race yesterday, but he didn't start from the pole, so he needs to improve on that.
He will want it, won't he? After yesterday, there's going to be some serious pressure here. So, if you're new to the series, Dylan Medler is our champion from last year. He led the standings coming here. Massimo Perina last year was in one of the support categories. He won that, and he stepped up this year to Trofeo Pirelli and has immediately been on the pace. He very nearly took the win at round 1. He crossed the line slightly too early at the start, was given a penalty, so it's been up and down. Here he is, Perina, and yesterday he dived up the inside. Super late, but he was 100% alongside Medler. The stewards have given no penalty. We thought the move was good. Medler turned in at the last second, either didn't see him or tried to block him. Meanwhile, Kaminsky behind them is 16 years old and is the new young hot shoe. It was brilliant talking to his dad, Brian, yesterday, and his brother as well. And his brother was saying how they've been racing a different series, Miatas, and Johnny had got quicker than his brother. And then his dad was like, well, I had to eat that sandwich as well. He said, I quit when he got quicker than me as well. He's 16, he's learning so fast. They are the top three, really, and none of them took the win yesterday. It was Franco. So we're in for hopefully a banger of a qualifying session here.
Yeah, Massimo Perina, car number 27. Last year he drove 488 Challenge, who was the car prior to this 296 Challenge. So he won everything last year in that category. And even in broadcast last year with Dave, we mentioned often that we would like to see Massimo Perina fighting with the 296 Challenge car, and this year it's been great to see his performance. Also impressive is 16-year-old Johnny Kaminsky yesterday, P2. He didn't win, but P2 is very crucial for the championship as well, and he had a very intelligent drive the whole race. He lost the place to Manny Franco at the start, but after that he kept his head together and he drove an intelligent race.
He didn't do anything silly, did he? Because we were saying, weren't we, once the front two had come together, it was like for Kaminsky now there's no point in risking it when you knew that Franco
I think there was
out.
a few corners where Johnny's driving could be a little bit different. We saw Roberto Perina catching a lot on him between 10, 11, 12. So these areas of the track, maybe today we will see a bit more aggressive Johnny Kaminsky.
You were saying as well, weren't you, that potentially it's a settings thing. I'd spoken to him in the morning and he had the front of the car very pointy, but that was maybe compromising his brakes in 10. We don't know that. That's just us having a crack at what we think. I mean, Tony knows better than me. And you were saying maybe as the race had gone on, if the tyres are going away, the settings needing changing. They will have that data now. They've done a race run, but a race run's different to a race.
Yeah, on Johnny's flying lap yesterday, the rear stepped out, and that's not a good thing at high speed when you have oversteer. And now we see car giving space.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the rear stepped out, and then in the other hand, in the race, I think he suffered a little bit of understeer. He was struggling to get the rotation, medium to slow speed corners, and the other cars were able to close on him. So I think on this side, the teams are changing, improving the setup based on the driver comments and based on the experience you got from yesterday.
You're looking at Tony Davis in the, I think it's dark blue and day glow. Yes, it is, as it comes back into the light.
Yeah, Tony Davis also driving here with the 296 GT3 car. It's also in the Club GT sessions as well.
Roberto Perina's just gone fastest. He's got into the 135s. What was yesterday's pole, Tony?
Was 5.7.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's a great lap then. So Roberto Perina...
Yeah, he was fast also yesterday in the race, and his fastest lap time was basically identical to Massimo Perina. So Roberto's performance this weekend has been great. Whoa, what a tight line through that section of the track. I think the whole car was inside the white lines and so close to the walls.
So if it's fully inside the white lines, they may get a lap taken away, but it's good to see, isn't it? Yeah. Dylan Medler, P3, 136.9. You get the impression Medler's not had a push lap yet, don't you? Here he is, your championship leader. So yesterday lost out, broken steering after the contact with Massimo Perina. At the minute, it's a Perina front row lockout. Roberto from Massimo. Massimo just 0.2 of a second behind. Oh no, Kaminsky. Kaminsky goes quick. He's 135.7. So Johnny Kaminsky has just gone to the top of the table. Roberto Perina P2, Massimo Perina, then Medler, your top four. They're all going inside that curb.
Yeah, very aggressive, using a lot of track, but that's lap time. Those are the areas where you improve. You have more areas, you have more space on the track to get the rotation done, and when you cut the corner very tight inside, that gives you confidence. Johnny is actually using a little bit less, more than a half car, wider racing line. This section is very difficult, a long corner that you need to wait for the throttle, you need to wait for the rotation of the car. If you open the throttle early, you create oversteer and you lose the acceleration for the next straight line.
Yeah, really, really tricky, super long left-handers. Basically, the turn numbers are 6, 7, 8. Massimo Perina, fastest, 135.6. He goes a tenth quicker than Kaminsky. Some drivers are referring to 6, 7 and 8 as the carousel, so they're referring to the three corners together. You come in as a little roll off, back on the throttle, push the nose wide, roll off again. And we saw from Medler's onboard lap as he comes through, there's a big handful of opposite lock on the exit. It's really hard to balance a car in a corner like that.
And also for Manny Franco, again, a very slow start for his qualifying. His previous lap was very slow, over 140. Now he posted the first flyer, which is 136, and the next lap is the one to wait from Manny Franco.
So So Medler is only 9 thousandths off Roberto Perina's time. Tight at the top, it really is. Just 4 tenths of a second over the top 5. Then there's a little gap back. Massimo Perina over the line. Can it go any quicker? 35.6 was what he did before. 35.5. He knocks another tenth off. So Perina, 35.5. Laying down a marker here, making it very hard. Medler's got 3-4 tenths of a second to find. Medler, of course, back in the car after it was damaged yesterday. They won't have had any time to check if everything is exactly how they want it. Obviously, they'll have tracked the car up. Everything will have been done to the highest degree, but getting out on track. Medler finding his feet again. Needs a good quick lap now. Here comes Kaminsky. I think Kaminsky's rolled off looking at that.
Yeah, I think both backed off. Massimo Perina and also Kaminsky. Early in the session, Dylan's car at the high-speed section looked like he had a lot of understeer. He was struggling to put temperature on those front tires. You can almost hear the sound from those Pirelli tires sliding on top of the surface. So not an ideal start for the qualifying from Dylan. We mentioned earlier that Massimo Perina needs to deliver in qualifying to then try to avoid the recoveries he needs to do in the race. So right now he's doing an excellent job. We are 2 tenths under the yesterday's pole position as well, so it shows that the track is in a very good shape and great qualifying so far.
Yeah, Medler did that 1:35.7 yesterday, so what was it? It was a 7:17. So yeah, that would have been enough for P2 today.
Yeah, but he's not able to repeat it until now.
No.
We have 2 minutes left.
Maybe time for one more push lap. 32 is Ethan McWilliams. Ethan yesterday was in P8. Today coming P9, crosses the line and moves up to P7. Ethan McWilliams, nicely done. Not seeing much movement at the top of the table at the moment in terms of lap times or positions.
Let's see if Perina and Kaminsky had a cool down lap, or they're coming back to the pits, or they try to go for one more.
Tony Davis with the Pirellis protesting at the end of the straight, just the slight squeak of the occasional locked wheel. Over the line, Davis stays in P9 with a minute remaining. 2 Perinas in front of Medler at the minute, and Kaminsky on the front row. Manny Franco was on row 2 yesterday, wasn't he, with Kaminsky, and Roberto Perina was further back. Let me see, what did Roberto Perina do yesterday? No, he was P4, yeah. Manny Franco was P5, yes, so I thought Franco was on row 2 with Kaminsky.
Yeah, I think so too.
So I've got results in front of me from yesterday, which is strange.
Yeah, I thought Manny Franco was P4, and then he overtook Johnny Kaminsky, who is now coming back to the pits. He overtook him at the start of the race. Manny had a cool down lap, and he's going for another one. He's almost 6 tenths from the leaders, using a lot of curb. He was also very aggressive yesterday in qualifying. Almost gave me an idea that a little bit of overdriving, driving too much over the curbs and sliding the car a bit too much, and then you lose lap time. But he's definitely very confident with his race car. Very tight line there. Didn't let the car go at all to the right hand side, only at the last part of the braking. And good launch, very close to the walls again.
Yeah, straight early, wasn't he? Full throttle early as well. So Manny Franco with the checkered flag out. Perina currently in pole. Franco is in P5.
Whoa, he's almost on the dirty side of the track.
Oh, he's making Tony Blanda nervous, which makes me think it's a big old push lap. Over the curbs on the left and the right. Out towards the wall again. So Franco, Roberto Perina is not showing whether he's in the pits or taking the checker for us.
Let's see here. Good run.
Good exit.
Yeah, he's on it. It's great to watch. A lot of confidence with his race car. He's doing very wild things, very aggressive. So let's see how the lap time plays out.
Here we go then, late on the brakes for Franco. The nose of the car dances around. He gets the rotation. He gets to the apex on the inside line. Patience on the throttle now through the long left-hander. It could be a good one. He's currently sitting in P5. Can Franco get up a row as he crosses the start-finish line? No, he can't. Good effort, though.
It was a great to watch the whole lap. And drivers really putting the effort to improve their lap time. And great driving from Manny Franco.
Interesting at the front then, isn't it? Here's Perina over the line. Roberto stays third.
Yeah,
Wonderful
I think
pop
he did,
crackle.
I think Manny did his best lap time on the last.
Yes, looking at it, because
but he was not able to improve the place.
Let's see. Yes.
Yeah, it was a
According
good
to
lap.
this.
It was a good lap, but then you get always the doubt that if lap 6 you lost already something grip-wise.
Yeah.
Maybe that lap and that effort, if it was 3 laps earlier, maybe there was a tenth or two in the tires.
And that's what these guys have to do, isn't it? If they want their
Exactly.
positions, you've got to do it straight away. You've got to get out there, commit, get it done. Look at the amount of spin lines there are now to the inside, coming through turn 15, that is, the exit of 15 through 16. They run the curb sort of between the two.
Good recovery from Massimo Perina from yesterday, because obviously you don't want to run into other driver, you don't want to have contacts. He was able to put that behind. Great qualifying, great performance, an interesting front row for today's Pirelli race.
Massimo has his uncle Roberto behind him on the run into the first corner, which you'd like to think would offer some safety. Nobody likes to take a teammate out. Not only are they family, but they're also teammates at Ferrari of Seattle. So, you know, teammates, family or not, you never ever take your teammate out if you can possibly help it.
Yeah, Ferrari of Seattle is in great shape on this Miami Autodrome track, and Roberto's pace yesterday in the race was really good. So he's almost performing a bit better here than in the previous races, so it's great to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There we go. Qualifying done. Incident free.
And the other thing is he has Massimo in a similar car, so you have great reference on telemetry. He knows always where is the performance of the car. You can follow the telemetry, you can change the opinions on the setup. And so it helps also Roberto to have Massimo in the team, so they have information from 2 cars instead of having only one.
Absolutely. Ray Acosta, our pole sitter from Pirelli AM, is with Nina Jade Paul.
Ray Acosta, pole position in Miami. How are you feeling?
I feel great. I'm home. It's my hometown, and I feel amazing and a lot better than yesterday, you know.
Yeah, you got a bit unlucky yesterday. Where did you find the edge on this track today? Because you've seemed strong all weekend.
You know, I just braked a little bit more, you know, and just took every turn a little bit, you know, cleaner this time, and you know, just put the numbers up.
Nice. And how important is pole position in terms of strategy for the race?
Well, I mean, yesterday was, you know, I was P3, so, I mean, there was a bit of a mix-up in the first turn, so I got lucky on that one. I think today, hopefully it's going to be clean, and I'll be out of the way, and hopefully nothing happens, and everybody will finish the race.
Fingers crossed. Good luck today.
Thank you very much.
Cars are cruising back to the paddock. Qualifying is done. The races today are, let me grab my schedule and we can see. Ferrari Challenge Recon lap is at 2:25 for Shell this afternoon, and for Pirelli it is at 3:55. So make a note of those. We will be on air before that, but that's when the races start. Our pole sitter for Trofeo Pirelli, Massimo Perina, is with Nina Jade.
Massimo Perina, you were dominant in that session. Really, really fast times. How does that feel, especially after yesterday?
It's very gratifying. Some might call it redemption. Who knows? But I'm just ready for the race today.
And what does pole position do for your momentum?
Oh, it sets it forward for sure. I mean, we have the line going into 1, take them as deep as we want, and hopefully run away from there. But we'll see.
Best of luck later.
Thank you very much.
Massimo Prina looking very happy with that, isn't he? It's a great result for him. Confirmation of it. Massimo Prina, your pole sitter for Trofeo Pirelli from Johnny Kaminsky, the 16-year-old. Roberto Prina, Massimo's uncle. Dylan Medler, the champion. Contact between him and Massimo yesterday. What will play out? Manny Franco, yesterday's winner, P5. Then Cook, McWilliams, Falvey, your top 8. 1.4 over those, but it's incredibly close at the top with just 0.4 of a second over those top 4 drivers. Tony Davis, Dave Musial Jr. and Jason McCarthy round out your qualifiers for Trofeo Pirelli. Fantastic stuff from qualifying, super clean session. The XX cars are heading out on track now. If you want to stick around on the stream, you'll be able to watch those very shortly. In the meantime, we'll be back on air at 14:20 this afternoon. That's 2:20 p.m. Eastern time. And it's going to go down, definitely. So join us later on today. Thank you very much, Neela J. Paul, Tony Villander. My name's Andrew Coley. We'll see you this afternoon, but stick around for some XX action.